This is such a weird conversation, I'm sorry.
You'll wear a condom if you have sex with Jasmine.
Yep, of course.
Yeah, of course, he says. Knowing how things turned out, I don't think he listened. But from weird but calm conversations to all hell breaking loose.
You have been here being judgmental, and you are the first people crucifying me. You all know everything.
Guys.
I'm not gonna take your
Yep, the open marriage hasn't even officially started yet, but already external influences are causing this to descend into chaos. Now, before we dive in, let's rewind to the start. So, the last time we saw Gino and Jasmine, they were about to call Matt and set some ground rules for the open marriage. Jasmine was saying it's important for her to get Gino's approval for the guy she's going to be sleeping with. Now, hold on to that thought because we're going to come back to that in a bit. But first, Gino wants to get a few things straight.
You two have never been intimate with each other yet?
No, she's married. I try not to, do anything like that to sabotage people's marriages.
Okay, Matt, how very moral of you. I won't sabotage people's marriages, says the man who's built a relationship and ends up having a baby with a married woman. Give me a break. Forgive me if I don't quite believe you, mate. Either way, if we're as naive as Gino, if we take him at face value, he says he has some lines he won't cross. And when Gino asks him if he's actually single, he says he is, but he's been in many relationships in the past. Now, the way that he says it implies that Jasmine will be his sole focus. She'll be the only person that he's actively sleeping with. But Gino wants to make one thing crystal clear. When you're sleeping with my wife, you must use protection, he says.
This is such a weird conversation, I'm sorry.
You'll wear a condom if you have sex with Jasmine.
Yep, of course.
Now, I guess in this kind of relationship, that is an important boundary to set. But it would have also been good to actually enforce it. Makes you question, doesn't it? What other boundaries have been completely ignored? Either way, too late to worry about now, because Gino tells Matt, he says, remember one thing. If emotions get involved, if either of you start to catch feelings, then it has to be ended. But isn't Matt's response to that very interesting?
I do think Jasmine is kind of fragile. When I don't see that she is taken care of the way she should be, it's kind of heartbreaking.
That sure sounds like feelings are already involved, doesn't it? For someone whose sole job is meant to be just to sexually satisfy Jasmine, sounds like he's already strayed into the world of making sure her feelings are satisfied too. Now, Gino tells Matt to leave that side of things to him. The feelings, the emotions, that's between me and my wife, he says. But already, it's clear that Matt has got under Gino's skin. That little comment has rattled Gino.
There's even a part of me that, I just want to clock Matt right in the face, and knock him over. I just want to punch the guy.
Now, I'm not saying his reaction is wrong. I can completely understand why he wants to punch him, but I don't think that would end up too well for Gino. It's a bit late for him now to be acting like the tough guy, isn't it? Now, keep the whole tough guy thing in mind because it pops up again later. One thing's for sure, Gino doesn't like Matt. He doesn't like the way that he just spoke to him, and yet somehow, for some incomprehensible reason, he still agrees to allow Matt to his wife. And just look at Jasmine's giddy excitement as he announces he's okay with it. Funny, isn't it? For a woman who's never short of something to say, when Matt turns to Jasmine and says, "I'll see you when you get back home," Jasmine seems lost for words. She almost appears shy.
Okay. To work out.
No, to not work out.
Yeah.
I told you I don't want a friendship.
Oh, so this is the boundary. That is a line that they can't cross. Really, Gino? That little exchange, not for the first time, has triggered Gino. That, he says, is out of the question. You can't work out together anymore. I don't want you two being friends, he says. Friendship is off limits, which then elicits the following hilarious response from Jasmine.
Okay, to have sex then.
I mean, talk about having your compass upside down. Like, in what world is that better than friendship? It's nuts. Either way, that somehow seems to satisfy Gino. But before Matt disconnects from the call, he reminds Jasmine to
Make sure you drink your water and eat your food.
I'm trying, I promise.
I mean, it's bizarre, but it's also the sort of thing that gym buddies, buddies, friends, might actually say to each other. Like, if Gino really thinks that they're not already friends, well, that was another clue that he's just completely ignored. Now, after the call ends, Gino and Jasmine join the rest of the group for their final night out, and the group wants to know why they're late.
We were banging it out. I'm joking. Damn it.
I wonder if things may have actually turned out different for Gino and Jasmine if this had actually been true. Now, as it turns out, while they were waiting for Gino and Jasmine to arrive, the rest of the cast were all discussing amongst themselves what a disaster this open marriage is gonna be. None of them have any hope whatsoever that it's gonna end up well, and for a split second, thinking that they'd actually had sex, there was a glimmer of hope that maybe everything will be alright, maybe they can get through this without Matt's involvement. Only that bubble pops as soon as they find out Gino was just joking, and just to make matters worse, he's just got off a video call with the man that's going to sleep with his wife. Now, Rob goes as far as to say to Gino, if you want an open relationship, do yourself a favour. Whatever you do, don't let Jasmine sleep with Matt.
She's already talking to this guy. He knows too much about your relationship, and he's already telling her what's wrong with you.
Matt already has feelings for you, and it's a little too late.
Matt may have feelings, Jasmine actually admits, but I don't. But the problem is, even her closest buddy at the resort, Stacey, isn't buying that. You were happier and more excited on that call with Matt than I've ever seen you with Gino, she says. But that observation, for as accurate as it was, really annoys Jasmine. I think it's hurt her. It's hurt her that her girls, her closest buddies at the resort, are all pointing out her glaring hypocrisy. But there is one person, just one, who seems to be on Jasmine's side, and that is Florian. In Florian's mind, it's Gino that's the problem.
This fool retreat, I'm telling like, have sex with your wife. You're going to solve this problem. Where's Gino? No, listen, you know, he's a dumb stubber. Dumb stubber.
Now, as everyone comes together in agreement that having Matt as the other person is a bad idea, Jasmine starts to get more and more tense. Matt is the only option, she says. I can't just sleep with anyone. I need to have a connection. If it's not Matt, then I'm back at square one, she complains. But for Rob, that isn't a problem. Like, you've just opened up the marriage, he says. Why would being back at square one be such a bad idea? At least then you get to both, together, search for someone new. You could both get to have a say in it. It would be an even playing field. And Gino agrees.
Yeah, I agree. Matt's out now. He's out. You have too much of a connection with Matt. He's out.
I'm still alright for you to sleep with other men, says Gino, but just not Matt. We have to find someone you don't already know, don't already have a connection with. Now, this development, Gino's sudden change of heart, inspired by all the other cast members, has really annoyed Jasmine. She's furious that everyone's influence has caused her husband to change his mind, and she begins to lash out. What you're all doing isn't fair, she screams. Why are you all ganging up on me?
Me judgmental, and you are the first people crucifying me. You all know everything. Everything.
For someone who claims she doesn't have an emotional connection to Matt, Jasmine sure does have an emotional reaction to being told she can't have him. She storms outside, followed by some of her friends who are trying to calm her down, and she appears to be having some sort of panic attack.
Okay.
Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. We need to take her home.
Yeah, that isn't the reaction of someone who's emotionally disconnected from the man they're about to sleep with. Like, if that's not the most obvious clue ever, if that's not the most obvious sign that Rob and Gino are both right, Matt should be out of the question, then I don't know what is. Now, going back to Jasmine, she's feeling judged by everyone, and that includes the girls, her closest friends, who up until this point have been her constant support system.
You. Everybody. Everybody.
So Jasmine decides she wants to be alone. She's gonna leave the night out and return to the resort by herself. So with Jasmine gone and Gino all alone, his friend Florian tries to make him see sense.
You're embarrassing her. With the What the is happening with your brain, man?
You just want him his wife.
Yes!
Both of you are wrong, Florian says. There's a very simple solution to fix all of this. Just show your wife some love. Show her some compassion. At least show her some signs that you can sleep with her again. Touch her, hug her. Just those simple things will make a big difference, he says. And in a bid to illustrate his point, Florian goes back to a story that Jasmine brought up at group therapy. Tell us, Gino, he says, what actually happened that Christmas? The Christmas that Jasmine revealed she spent all alone in a hotel room.
Jasmine wasn't with me for Christmas. She with me.
You kicked her out
You
for
think-
Christmas. He's telling
I didn't kick her out, man. You got the
Yes!
story wrong, bitch.
Not for the first time today, Gino has started to get aggressive. I mean, we all know he's not a lover, but up until now I didn't realise he was a fighter either. Remember, Gino and Florian have forged an unlikely friendship, right? They are best friends at this resort. Like, Florian, in his own unique way, was only trying to help. But the second that Gino calls him a bitch, everything changes. Florian's furious. He's furious that he's been insulted, and he's furious that Gino's so stubborn. And as a result, Florian's demeanour also changes.
She left.
bitch to nasty.
No.
You what you telling, bitch?
No.
Tell me. Let's keep the
I'm
story
telling
straight. Let's keep the story straight, man.
Guys.
Now, maybe alcohol has inflamed the situation. Maybe it's the stress of actually meeting Matt and not liking him. Or maybe it's the public ridicule and humiliation that Gino is facing. Having everyone all up in his business, knowing that he's a cuckold. He's a willing cuckold who's okay with his wife getting f***ed by another guy. I mean, does it get more humiliating than that? That must definitely be factoring into what's going on. But whatever it is, whatever the true cause of his anger, this has all become too much for Gino. He's snapped at his best friend, Florian. Now, the actual fight, if you can even call it that, is a whole lot of nothing. The pair quickly get separated by cast members and production and end up just screaming insults at each other.
Stupid ass. Shut your mouth.
I like you, Florian. I like you. But I'm not gonna take your hand.
Shut your mouth, Marcel. Stupid.
I'm not gonna take your.
Now, eventually, after they both take some time out and calm down, they do kind of make up, and then everyone heads back to the resort. But when we join them the next morning, and remember this is the morning of the recommitment ceremony, it becomes very obvious that everything that everyone said to him last night has been playing in Gino's mind. You see, we learn that last night he didn't want to sleep in the same room as Jasmine. I mean, they've taken a massive step back. If this open relationship was meant to help them heal, what it actually seems to have done is undo all of the progress that they've made at the resort. Gino decides that before the recommitment ceremony begins, he needs to talk to his wife. And as they sit down, Gino immediately raises his concerns.
I don't know if I can move forward with this open relationship if Matt is the person that you're picking.
This is not negotiable.
Well, that's a drastic change in her attitude from, what, just 12 hours ago, isn't it? Jasmine has gone from, I'll only ever love you, Gino, you're my one and only, I just want you to meet Matt so that you can approve of it all, be on board with it, to now saying it's non-negotiable. It is gonna be Matt, and I don't care whether or not you approve. Now, she goes on to say, whoever I bring back, you're gonna find fault with. I'm not willing to do what Rob suggested. I'm not willing to start back at square one. Just trust me, she says. But Gino doesn't know if he can do that anymore.
Based on what you said right now, I mean, we're in big trouble right now.
Yeah. I
Because
feel very anxious.
We might not be able to commit at the ceremony.
Unlike the last time Gino made that kind of threat that he doesn't want to be with her, this time wasn't said in the heat of the moment. This feels more real. It feels more considered, more calculated. It feels like Gino has gone over all the facts and realises he can't do this. And I think sensing how real this threat is, Jasmine immediately turns on the waterworks and begins trying to reassure Gino.
Never put in doubt how much I love you, please, because that will kill me. That will kill me, okay?
That's good.
The pair both seem pretty distraught, as if both have come to the realisation that the end might be near. Like, it's funny, isn't it? They both say that they love each other, but whatever love they claim they have isn't enough to put the other person first. Gino still refuses to meet Jasmine's physical needs, and Jasmine refuses to back down and choose someone that isn't Matt. And so, with uncertainty lingering over their future, the next time these two see each other is at the commitment ceremony. It feels like this might be it, right? Right? Well, no, actually, surprisingly not, because at the ceremony, things take a shocking turn.
Love starts as a feeling, but continue as a choice. And I find myself choosing you more and more every day.
Really, Jasmine? I mean, it's a sweet sentiment, but are you really choosing Gino more and more every day? Doesn't really feel like that. I mean, it feels like you're only choosing Gino if you can also have Matt. Frankly, I don't believe a word coming out of her mouth. All of these vows are just bullshit. Like, how is she really standing there on TV with a straight face saying this, acting as if they don't have the most dysfunctional relationship? Like, the hypocrisy of it, it's wild. She's committing to him, whilst also simultaneously asking for the freedom to act single. I mean, if Gino had an ounce of self-respect, he'd end it here, wouldn't he? So, what does he do?
I love you very much. I don't want to lose you, and I'm willing to do, whatever it takes, to keep you. I'm not going to give up.
I'm willing to do whatever it takes, he says, except, of course, the one thing that most husbands would love to do to their wives, sleep with them. I mean, his vows are just as equally bullshit as Jasmine's. None of them are worth the paper they're written on. So, hilariously, the pair decide to recommit. They leave the retreat pretending like they're happy. But, of course, we all know it's just an act. Nothing has been fixed at the resort. Nothing is better. If anything, it's only got worse. And there is no happily ever after for these two. I can't wait to pick up the story next week at the tell-all to hopefully get some answers about what happened once the cameras stopped rolling.